Well,
Rolling?
Rolling.
All right. 5:30, we'll call this meeting of the Board of Public Works and Safety to order. If you can please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Move next to roll call. Clerk Treasurer Aldridge.
Sam Dywert, Richard,
Present.
Thank you. We've got copies of the agenda circulated. Are there any additions to be made to the Board of Public Works and Safety agenda? Hearing none, I'll move next to the reading of minutes and approval. The first set of minutes we have is from the last regularly scheduled meeting on October 17th, 2016 at 5:30 p.m. Are there any additions, subtractions, deletions, or amendments to be made to this set of minutes?
I move the minutes be approved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. That motion carries. We move next to the Board of Works work session on October 27th, 2016 at 9 a.m. Are there any additions, subtractions, deletions, or amendments to be made to these set of minutes?
I move the minutes be approved as presented.
Second.
You were here.
I rescind my second.
I'll second. Motion carries. Sorry, I just saw that. We move next to the minutes of the Board of Works work session on November 3rd, 2016 at 9 a.m.
Move they be approved as presented.
Is that here?
You were.
I second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. That motion carries. We'll move next to a reading of claims and approval. Are there any questions regarding the claims?
Yes.
Let's have-
Chief Mullen, how come Parkinson cell phone bill is 4 times higher than everybody else's?
Well, thank you for bringing that up.
I bet you appreciate that. Thank you.
You were getting ready to mention that, weren't you? Well, yes. Apparently, the codes were not entered for the phone again this month, so I called the representative of Sprint, and she's entered the codes, and that's been taken care of. It'll be reflected on next bills. On the next bill, the correction will be reflected on the next bill.
So what you're saying is,
They keep telling me they're going to fix it.
have they overcharged you?
Yes. they did. According to our contract, we have a lot more minutes and what they're better in this bill. And so, basically, they're supposed to fix this every month, but they hadn't done it. And she said she's going to take care of it. I think I looked at the bill earlier last week, and there may actually be money to pay on us this time.
I don't think so.
Any other questions regarding the claims?
Yeah, is the 700,000, is that a payment from the state?
no, that's 700,000. Your claims have to reflect. I took that out of highway relinquishment
Okay.
fund, and I put it over in the rainy day to handle our community crossing grants.
Okay.
That was,
So at the same time, then, if you took a revenue report, it would show that 700,000 was put into rainy day. So it's a transfer and a wash, but
Okay.
it has to show it as an expense.
and that happened because with community crossings money had to be located in one of 3 places in the city budget, so it had to be in either rainy day, the distribution we got back from the state this year, or something else that we don't have, so we had to move it from that relinquishment into that rainy day. Do we have any other questions regarding?
This resource officer, we're still paying something for, what's that?
We made adjustments that totally wiped them out, totally brought us up to snuff. They owed, the SRO owed the general account, because general was actually paying, and that was her portion of the FICA Med and her portion of the insurance.
So are we done?
We are done.
Well,
We are
actually,
totally done,
I think they overpaid us last year,
correct.
so there's approximately between $17,000 and $18,000 that we'll have to send back over to the school because they overpaid us last year with the SRO. They are proceeding with an SRO, but it's the school's SRO, no affiliation with the city, chief.
No.
So this Delphi Community School Corporation will be in charge of discipline and oversight of that officer.
Good.
All right. Any other questions
That's it.
regarding the claims?
I move we accept the claims.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Motion carries. We have a copy of it. All right, we'll move next to department head updates. We should have every department head's updates, I believe, in front of you. Do we have any questions for Chief Mullen?
Is he gonna talk about a police vehicle or that?
He is, that's later on in the agenda. Any questions for Chief beyond that? All right, any questions for Superintendent Lyons?
I don't.
For Superintendent Myers?
Is he gonna talk later, or we're gonna talk about?
Greg?
Okay. No,
Oh, do you have a question?
no, I just wondered if he was gonna talk about any of the water things.
Well, six, but there, you have some information on well six, correct?
Well 6, the well has passed the back T test. I just found out today. So they are going to come back and we're going to test the water main from the well to the building. And then everything else. They're working on the punch list that BFS and I went through. We're moving forward.
How are we doing on the 12-inch test size production well on the other side of the Wabash? They get
They've got the well
qualified?
drilled. They're going to start the pump test tomorrow. At least a 24-hour test, if not up to a 72-hour test.
How much do they pump when they do that?
They've got it set for 1,000 gallon a minute.
What do they do with that water?
Wherever they can pump it to. There's a ravine there they're going to pump it to. It'll make its way back to the Wabash. But if it starts influencing the well level.
Are they monitoring the wells at the same time they do this pump test?
Yes. That'll determine how long they do the pump test.
Okay. And it's just the one test well?
Yes.
Is that the one closest to the road or farthest back?
One part of
The most southern, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Any other questions for Superintendent Myers? Do we have any questions from Superintendent Van Sickle? From Director Adams?
What you been doing the last few days?
Business inventory, we finished that up. So I hope to have a report at least balanced by the end of the year on the comparison between post-stellar, pre-stellar business inventory. So that's what I've been working on.
Thank you, Director. We'll move next to unfinished business. Right now, don't have anything for Stellar, updates or change orders. Couldn't remember where we left off last time with the vac truck.
I think, as I recall, we were gonna discuss what we could do with the back truck with the water and street department. Yeah,
Is that a conversation we'd like to have today? Or is-
I don't think so. I mean, I'm not prepared to have a conversation about it. I think that's a good work session, conversation that we should have maybe next week. Because I think it all is gonna depend on what, I guess my issue is that if we're gonna spend that kind of money for a truck, and we talked about it in January, the idea was that that truck would be versatile. It'd be used for the water department, street department, maybe. And of course then, we'd also talked back in January about the utility departments having an enhanced maintenance program. And as I recall the discussion with the back truck, one of the advantages of that with the maintenance program is there would be more main cleaning and those kind of things. And Greg talked about being able to use the hydro, whatever you call it, with that. And so I want to make sure that before we spend another $150,000 for a vehicle, that we're going to use that vehicle to its utmost. And then if we don't start doing maintenance, more maintenance than what I see being done or what I think is being done, then I'm not going to be in favor of spending that money. So I want the water, street, and the sewer departments to say, here's how we're going to use it, and so we can make sure that it is cost beneficial to the city to make that investment. Otherwise, people won't go.
I'd like to know how often we use contractors, and if we purchase this truck, what will the offsetting cost be? Or will we not need them anymore? Will we need them only on occasion? You gotta justify the return on the investment. I mean, if you're paying them $50,000 a year, that's one thing. If you're still gonna pay them $50,000 a year, then you haven't really accomplished anything.
I think one part of the discussion we need to have is that, is the back truck that we have now that does what it does is soon gonna be incapacitated, or I don't know the proper.
Our
word
back
for it.
truck right now is doing what it was designed to do, with the exception of line cleaning on a regular basis, okay? So, when that truck goes down, it's gonna need to be replaced. Unless you deem it that we don't need one, and then we'll be calling AccuDig for everything, okay? Now, I'm not dead set on buying this truck, another truck, whatever. I'm just saying that when our truck goes down, we will need another vehicle. Now, I can't sit here and tell you that we'll be working it 3 days a week, every week for a year. I mean, that's not, there's a lot of different stuff going on. Craig's busy, Aaron's busy, I'm busy.
Is the amount of time you've used AccuDig unusual in the last few
Well,
months?
you're gonna have to either get that from Leanne or Craig. I don't use AccuDig very often. But Craig does a lot more underground excavation.
But I mean, is it unusual what we've used it in the last year?
Well, we used it a lot, I don't mean to be talking in front of you, but we used it an awful lot in the Stellar because of all the water infrastructure that was going on downtown.
It just seems to me it's in town a lot, and I just wonder if that was kind of unusual or.
The last
that's
couple
kinda
of years
normal.
has been with the stellar stuff going on uptown, old stuff in the system, we had to move meter pits. We did a lot of projects and stuff last couple of years.
What do they do when they're here for like the French Street water main replacement? So what's AccuDig do with their truck when they're here that we can't do physically with our truck?
There's a lot of difference in the ground. Dick's truck wouldn't be able to suck up most of the ground if it was real rocky or clayey. I just don't want to speak out there.
No, that's fine, that's fine. I mean, our truck is a 1986 model. Okay, these new models are set up with hydro digging apparatus. Okay, they've got a water wand. I don't know how much pressure they can put through this thing. That is precision. They can cut a square hole and make it square all the way down. Well, we can't do that.
Well, as we discussed last winter, the idea of where we wanted to start moving, I thought where we wanted to start moving, was where our maintenance became less reactive, waiting until a problem occurred and trying to address it, and started being proactive, where it's going to take time to do that. I mean, it's going to take a few years to get that, to where we actually are ahead of problems before they occur, and that would be things like line cleaning, if you
And
identify a
Sam,
potential
we
problem.
had
And
that.
that's where I'd like to see us go.
I had developed a 3-year plan, one third of the town every year. And in 3 years, all the lines were clean. It just so happens that manpower, CDL, lack of
Well,
CDLs.
but see, here's the point, this is what, and I understand all those
And
things.
our truck will not, trust me, our truck will not run
Dick, I understand.
like their trucks.
I understand all those things. And that's where I'm hoping, I know with Stellar, Craig's been busy, Aaron's been busy, I know you've been busy, I'm not saying anyone's not busy. I'm just saying those are things like when we got into the discussion about CDL for employees, that was kind of where that was supposed to be going, was that we need to have a more versatile, not only a more versatile workforce, but we need to have some sense of what we're doing and doing it on a regular basis so that we can get ahead of these issues before a small problem suddenly becomes a big problem. That's why I would like to defer much discussion of this to a work session when we've got Craig and Aaron and yourself,
Fine.
and say, okay, here's our schedule for 2017. Here's how we're going to accomplish it. Here's how we can justify this kind of investment. I am all favor of the truck. I think I was here when we bought that first truck.
Yes.
So you didn't have one then. So it's not that I'm opposed to it, it's just I wanna make sure that we are, if we're gonna spend the money, let's be
You wanna make sure
getting.
it's not sitting around, I understand that.
Exactly, that's my point.
You also have somebody to drive it, so something's gonna have to be done if you buy a CDL required truck with somebody who could drive it, or at least somebody in each of your departments.
Well, I think there should at least be one in each department with a CDL.
And I think you should think about in the future, if you hire people, make that a condition of their employment if they're qualified. And you can pay to get a CDL, but it's hard for us old guys, we can't get CDL, or we can't keep them
Yeah.
usually. So when you hire new guys, you need to say that's a condition of your employment.
And I've got one of my guys that is interested in,
It's a great deal for them, hell, they get all this training and it
Well,
costs
no,
them,
I
if they
know-
went
I
out
know.
on their own and they've got something that's worth something.
and it's.
An ACDL is worth something.
It's a great benefit for a younger employee
It
too.
is.
Unfortunately, my department has some gray beards, so
What are you saying?
we're old. But very functional.
There you go.
Older person.
Okay, let's move on to the water connection policy. Are there any updates to make on that? Have you reviewed Monticello's?
We have, and I think where it's at now is it's under Aaron and Dick's review. Craig's looked at it. I've asked them all to make notations to it. And at one of the work sessions later in the month, I hope we'll have an opportunity to take that up. I'm working on a new permit that lays out the approval process so that there's more oversight and accountability down the line.
Have any other matters to discuss on that? Hearing none, we'll move next to Mr. Turchy. You have recommendations and bid awarding for the sewer project. We opened bids at the last regularly scheduled meeting.
We did. We received one bid from FK Construction, and we reviewed that bid, found nothing wrong with it in terms of all I's were dotted, T's were crossed. It's within the project value that we anticipated originally. As such, I recommend that you move forward with a formal award of the construction contract to FK Construction.
Just so that everyone's back up to speed, can you say exactly what this sanitary sewer rehab project entails?
Sanitary sewer rehab project entails cured-in-place pipelining in front of the Albee parking lot, sewer lines from where the trail starts, across that parking lot, all the way under State Road 25. It entails sewer lining, CIPP lining on the road street, the manhole that you can see in front of the ground, or above ground, it's in front of Subway and the grocery store beside Culligan, back to Hamilton Street. From Hamilton Street up to the railroad, or near the railroad, that pipe is in really poor condition and will be replaced via open cut.
So Dick, as I understand it, that area's been a problem for a long time now.
Well, it's, I hate to say it, but it's been on my list for probably 25 years.
So you can dig up everything and put new piping.
Except
A lot
for
of
the cast
stuff
Under-
in place,
under
slip
the-
lining in
The
it.
road.
No, it's all gonna be, it's called cured-in-place pipe, so we'll go in, clean the pipe, cut out all the roots and that sort of thing, and they will, the contractor will drag, it's called a sock into it, invert the sock, heat the inside of it, and mold a new plastic pipe inside the majority of it. That's everywhere that I talked about, except a short stretch, like about 400 feet, from Hamilton Street up to approximately Illinois Street, up by the railroad. That area, cured-in-place pipeline, or cured-in-place line fix. The pipe has a big bubble, so, the only way to fix that is to dig it out.
I was just going to interject here. We've done the same thing on
Monroe Street. I'm not sure if we did anything in my office. And where Tom Bratz, I used to live down the hill. We've done it here in place.
Exactly. No, I know it works really well.
Yeah, I didn't know
Yeah.
if you were familiar with it.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure everyone understood what the extent, and that's gonna solve the problem that you've had for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The main one is gonna be the one that's actually excavated. That's probably the bad one. I don't think it's a good idea.
So you gotta go under the highway,
It's pretty
how do
bad.
you do that?
There's manholes on both sides.
But the reason we haven't done it.
That's where you do the plastic.
Yeah, they call it lines.
That's all of that.
So the urgency hasn't been there.
Exactly.
Does that decrease the size tremendously of that pipe?
Not tremendously. We'll design that as we go. No, the liner is rather thin, usually a half inch or less in liner thickness.
I would guess you didn't actually enhance the flow, you just smooth out the, right?
The lining companies like to make that argument.
No?
It's mathematical, yeah. I think in real life it does, ultimately.
What kind of salesman?
I'm not selling it.
Okay.
I'm not a carrying place price salesman, but I do think it's the right trick for the city. This can save quite a bit of surface restoration costs.
What's our construction timeline on this?
The construction timeline allows for 150 days, calendar days to substantial completion, 180 days to, I guess what we call final completion. Basically, that's where well 6 is, after punch list to actual completion, whatever the details of that. That's what we call final completion. Target that we set up for those days would be to achieve, starting the clock ticking, the 150 days, in the early part of January, so that there's likelihood of excavating the room for weather and having to deal with road closure for weather is non-existent, so it won't be until mid-March or April, hopefully. Basically, at the end of the day, we're looking for May, June.
Do we have any more questions for Mr. Churchy?
I would move that we approve F and K for a total bid amount of $269,640.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Churchy, what was the engineer's estimate on this?
Engineer's estimate was $275,599.
Pretty close. And Mr. Van Sickle, you all right proceeding with F and K for this $269,640?
Yes.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Okay. Make sure clerk treasurer holds your desk.
Well, Mike is here, can I bring up some back?
Yep.
Well 6, that pump building out there is not, the finish on it is really poor.
Agreed?
I think,
So, what do you think?
no, I sent Mr. Churchy a list of the items when we did the on-site inspection of the ongoing project.
Were you copying a copy of the punch list, the actual punch list that went out as well? I believe.
I can't remember.
The punch list was rather long with regard to caulking, round doors, drywall
Well,
issues.
the door sticks out, the door frame sticks out that much beyond the wall, and, or the wall sticks out that much beyond the door frame, and the downspouts are washed away, the fill around the foundation, it was just, I thought it was pretty sloppy job. That was a Sam job. It's a job I do.
Well,
Paid union wages for that.
I would say this, when we were doing the walkthrough, the prime contractor went and said,
So then my next question is, we paid inspection fees for that?
very few.
Very few.
We were basically contracted for.
How much was that? How much were the fees on that, Craig? Inspected?
I don't know the exact number. There was one brought up to the council or board of works, was it like, you talking about the $8,000, $9,000 one?
Yeah.
I would have to go look, I don't remember the exact.
I guess I was told we paid $8,700 for inspection costs on that. And if you did a lot of them, it's one thing, if you did a few of them, it makes it worse. But I just thought those were things that were really, should have been caught early. The contractor should never have allowed them to occur, and I certainly think the inspection should have caught them.
I do
I
too.
mean, that's a little dinky, it's not
I do
a
too.
very big building, you know?
I do too, and I'm not gonna, we have some responsibility. I don't wanna shirk off.
Yeah, we're gonna get it fixed, let's ask that. question.
Yes, the intent is to get it fixed.
All right.
That's what we told the contractor. I guess probably if we need to have a discussion, then I would remember a discussion in the work session. Turn off the line personally.
Okay.
We know it's been a long time.
I just think it ought to be fixed.
Oh, I agree. I agree. Long list, electrical related, drywall related,
Yeah.
so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And then
Get a copy.
if I could, borrow a few more minutes of your time, I would appreciate it. I have one other request. A few meetings ago, we discussed Duke easements for the levee project. The fact that Duke Energy requires an easement to put the power line in. The direction that I received was to go figure out how to get it all in one easement on city property. Got Duke Energy to agree with it. Talked to city attorney a little bit about her experience with it as well. We can prepare an easement document. We've done a lot of land acquisition in the area. Unfortunately, that work's not included in the services that we've, in scopes that we've got created already. So, that letter, requests an hourly not to exceed amount of $2,500 to prepare the easement document or the legal description. Where is this thing at in the world, and a picture of where that thing's at.
Does this reimburse you for some of the negotiation fees that's in there as well?
No. Did that at the cost of the contract.
Those are freebies?
Go look at it. I did it under the lump sum agreement. So, levy project. That is for the easement only. So those are, it's surveyed, it's not even.
So that's not all your fees, those are subcontractor fees in there?
No, it's our surveyors.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying, but it's not just, it's not down writing up the easement.
Yeah, well,
It's not paperwork, you're actually doing, you have field people out there surveying the easement.
no, that's one of the things.
Describing the easement.
Well, we'll describe the easement now, so we've done all the field work, that's one of the reasons why it's 2,500, 5,000, 8,000.
The easement's supposed to stay along the public right of way.
Public right of way or land that the city already has full title to.
The problem with the easements that they produced for us is, well, there's 4 easements. 2 of them were on private property owners' lands, 2 were on the city Delphi's lands. It just didn't make sense, the route that they chose to go with their easements. Are there any questions for Mr. Churchy on this?
So he's asking us for $2,500 to do,
To prepare the legal documents for the easements to be presented to Duke, so that we can go through the public right of way and city-owned land as opposed to a bunch of private, or 2 private landowners' parcels.
Have to record 4 documents, pay recording fees on 4 documents, and so on and so forth.
I would move we approve the proposal from BF&S for cost not to exceed $2,500 for easement work.
second,
We have a motion and a second to approve the proposal from BF&S for an hourly not to exceed $2,500 for the easement work. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Do you have an update on the proposal for aeration?
I do. I have a scope written for that proposal. Craig and I have talked about it briefly. I want to review that scope with Craig tonight, because the number to it and get it back to you immediately. We're looking at about, I guess, 2 alternative locations and 2 or 3 different alternative tankage issues. Want to make sure that we're looking at the right things. Providing Chris that information.
So that will be ready when?
I would expect it to be your next board work.
2 weeks from today,
Yes.
21st.
is there a rule of thumb at all on aeration, of cost of aeration, or?
Let's say without the tankage, which, well,
The tankage will control the price of the project in large part, whether you end up with a large tank that you can use for 50, 75, 100 years, or whether you end up with a small tank that you intend for to be a gift by. That's one.
Let's say standalone without a tank, what would you be looking at for aeration approximately?
Oh, the aerator itself is probably, I would guess, $30,000 plus or minus 10. Aluminum induced draft aerator to treat down the gallon.
I guess, and we can talk about this at the next meeting, but we need a booster station to get it into the system.
Yes.
So that's in addition, then we need tankage, which we should be able to tie both those into our greater scope of work with the extension out north of Wabash.
That's one way we intend to look to.
When you say tankage, you mean a water tower?
I'm thinking of ground storage facilities, yes, same thing.
How big, I mean, big or?
Well, I think that's what we're gonna evaluate for you. Is this something that's 20,000 gallons worth of water, or is it 500,000? That's the best solution for the city.
Originally, what we looked at down there with the water expansion,
I would be looking at, I think, $1 million, or million gallon tank, ultimate up front, and then ultimately probably 2 million gallons long term, two 1 million gallon tanks there. So when I said 500,000, it would make some sense to divide that out a little further, and maybe you don't really end up with 2 million gallons there. Maybe you end up with $1 million in form of 2 500,000 gallon tanks. So that's why the finances, I think, evaluation come into play.
so at least see a proposal.
Yes. Yes. I will also intend, just for your information, to bring our inspector to the project to the
How's it going down there? Has he been down there yet?
He's been there. He's asked me lots of questions. We actually have shop drawings in and have reviewed contractors asking questions. I can't get a firm date. It's very difficult to get a firm date for that particular project. I expect him to get it off.
So it looks like they're moving a lot of dirt down there.
Are they moving dirt? I couldn't see.
Yeah.
Big hole.
We have any other questions for Mr. Turkey? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Do you need this notice to award? I've got 3 copies here. Treasurer Aldrich has copies of the not to exceed 2,500.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Mr. Turkey. We'll move next to Chief Mullen, in regard to 2017 police vehicle. So Chief, I'm gonna surprise you originally. I had Chief bring this today because I want to be prepared so that we can get the order in. We have approximately $20,000 in this year's budget that he'd like to encumber